हाँ जी प्यारे बच्चों, सत श्री अकाल। कल की वीडियो में असी किया चैप्टर 1 इंट्रोडक्शन टू अकाउंटिंग दी बुक कीपिंग, प्रोसैस ऑफ बुक कीपिंग, एवोल्यूशन ऑफ अकाउंटिंग, मीनिंग ऑफ अकाउंटिंग, करैक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ अकाउंटिंग। तो अज की वीडियो में असी करांगे ऑब्जेक्टिव्स ऑफ अकाउंटिंग फ्रॉम यूनीमैक्स बुक। Objectives of accounting. The main purpose of accounting is to present the real financial position of running business by furnishing financial data concerning a business enterprise compiled and presented to meet the needs of the management, investors and the public. The objective of accounting have been clarified by Lawrence S.C. Metzaman and Albert Slavin when they define accounting as the process of recording the changes in terms of increases and decreases in property or in the right to property and the analysis and interpretation of financial transactions. Aaron Anthony calls accounting system as a mean of collecting, summarizing, analyzing and reporting in monetary terms information about the business. According to Harold Bierman and Allah R.D. Revlin, the purpose of accounting is to identify, measure, code, and communicate the financial information of any business concern. Briefly speaking, a proper system of accounting should provide readers the following objectives: to maintain record of business. Accounting is the art of recording and classifying business transactions and events. It systematically writes the economic history of the organization. It provides information that can be drawn upon by those responsible for decisions affecting the organization's future. The American Institute of Certified Public Accountant has defined accounting as the art of recording, classifying and summarizing in a significant manner and in terms of money transactions and events which are in a part at least of a financial character and interpreting the result thereof. Thus, the main purpose of accounting is to identify business transactions of financial nature and enter them into appropriate books of accounts. In the absence of accounting, there would have been terrific burden or human memory which in most of the cases would have been impossible to bear. The accounting records should be made properly and systematically so that requested information may be obtained from the books of account whenever needed. Second, calculation of profit and loss. Accounting is the language of business. It summarizes the accounting data in the form of various financial statements, income statement, and the position statement. It not only keeps a systematic record of our financial transaction of the business, but keep a record of income and expenses in such a manner so that net result of the business can be quickly known for any period. The profit and loss account is prepared at the end of a period, and if the amount of revenue for the period is more than the expenditure incurred in earning such revenue, there will be profits. Accounting in this way is the source to evaluate the performance of the business in terms of profit. This evaluation in the form of profit and loss account is useful for all parties having stake in a business, like the management, lenders, investors, the proprietor or the partners or the shareholders, tax authorities and employees, etc. In case it has not proved to be profitable, the case of such a state of affairs will be looked into and necessary remedial measures will be taken up. Third, depreciation of financial position. Accounting maintains proper record of various assets and thus enables the management to exercise proper control over them, and the financial position of the business can be readily had at any point of time. The main purpose of financial accounting is to record business transactions in the books of account in such a way that operating result for a particular period and financial position on a particular date can be known for the information of the various group of persons. At the end of accounting period, we prepare position statement, balance sheet. For this purpose, a statement listing assets, liabilities, and the owner capital is prepared. Balance sheet is set via mirror, reflecting the true position of assets and liabilities on a particular date. It serves as a barometer for ascertaining the financial health of the business. If the assets exceed liabilities, it is solvent. In case liabilities exceed assets, if it would be insolvent. Fourth, to make the information available to various groups and uses. The basic objective of accounting is to provide information which is useful not only for the person within the organization, but also for the use of various persons and groups outside the organization, namely investors, creditors, consumers, government, research scholar, and various other social organizations, owner, managers, and employees are directly and indirectly involved with the data concerned. Hence, they are more cautious and interested in obtaining more and more accounting information. Owners need accounting information to know the profitability and financial position of their concern. Employees to evaluate their bonus and pay raise prospects. Government for better tax compliance. Consumers for establishing good accounting controls so that better quality goods may be made available at the lowest available prices. Creditors to judge credit worthiness of the concerned. Investor to judge the worth of their present or prospective investment, and so on. Hence, accounting in itself cannot create wealth, although it provides information which is beneficial to its user. It may assist in wealth creation and its maintenance. Accounting provides the following useful information to the business. First, availability of capital and its form. Second, assets and stock position. Third, purchase and sales. Fourth, list of debtors and creditors. Fifth, gross and net profit or losses. Sixth, cost incurred for carrying out various business activities. Next, advantages and functions of accounting. The following are the main advantages of accounting. First, complete and systematic record. Accounting is based on generally accepted principles and a scientific way of presentation of business transactions in books of accounts. As such, accounting is a complete and systematic recording of all business transactions. The limitations of humans that they cannot keep all the transaction in mind is overcome by accounting, because each and every business transaction can be recorded and analyzed through say. Second, determination of selling price. The main function of management is decision making. Accounting help and guide the management to take decision in respect of determining selling price, deduction of cost, increase in sales, etc. Third, valuation of the business. In case of sale of business or conversion of one business into another, true and fair value of the business is calculated. Through accounting, the correct picture can be depreciated in balance sheet. As such, the purchase price can be determined. Balance sheet shows the value of assets and liabilities of the business, which can be used to calculate its net worth. Fourth, help in raising loan. For further expansion, business must have sufficient funds. Sometimes, due to of funds, business cannot do well. In those cases, further funds can be raised by taking loan from some financial institutions like banks, IDBI, ICICI, etc. These financial institutions lend money on the basis of profitability and soundness of the business enterprise. The profitability and soundness can be measured by the trading and profit and loss account and balance sheet. Fifth, evidence in court of law. The business transactions are recorded in the books of accounts, supported by authentic documents, VIZ, vouchers, etc. Thus, the accounts can be used as an evidence in the court of law. In compliance of law, every business has to deal with various government departments like income tax, sales tax, custom and excise duty, etc. Various periodic returns are to be filled with these departments. Accounting help in preparations and filling of such returns. Seventh, inter-firm or intra-firm comparison. Trading and profit and loss account shows net profit and/or net loss sustained by the business. If the account are maintained properly, record related to various expenses, sales, gross profit and net profit, etc. can be compared. As such, accounting help in inter-firm and intra-firm comparison. Comparison of accounts of two different enterprises for the same year is known as inter-firm comparison, and comparison of two different periods for the same business enterprise is known as intra-firm comparison. The performance of the business enterprise is then compared with the predetermined goals and shortcomings, if any, can be rectified according. Eighth, facilities audit. Depending upon the size, nature and type of business, certification of books of account known as audit is mandatory. Audit certificate issued by the auditor on the accounts is a clean sheet to organization which prove that there is no irregularity in the organization. 9. Effective management. Accounting facilities proper feedback to the management. As such, it helps the management in planning as well as control of different activities of the business enterprise. It also helps the management to evaluate the performance of the business enterprise and take timely action to remove the shortcoming in the management. Next are the limitations of accounting. Accounting is primarily concerned with preparation of accounting information for the outsiders who do not have direct access to the accounting information. It serves so many objectives that is called the language of business, but it suffers from a number of limitations which are inherent in its nature. The following are the main limitations of financial accounting. First, financial accounting is not absolutely exact. Financial accounting is not completely free from personal bias or judgment. Poor transactions are recorded on actual basis, but there are many instances where estimates have to be made for calculating profit. The determination of useful life of the asset for depreciation purpose, provision for doubtful debt, lower of the cost or market price for the inventories are some of the instances in which estimate or personal judgment is needed, and since there is no uniformity for such estimate, the profit may vary if calculated by different persons. Second, financial accounting does not show the true worth of business. The assets are recorded in the balance sheet at cost less depreciation because they are meant for use and not for sale. Hence, the balance sheet should not be taken to disclose the released value of assets on sale. Third, financial accounting does not present the whole picture. Financial accounting information does not include the quality aspect of business enterprise. Accounting is concerned only with those business activities which can be expressed in money. In this manner, non-monetary transaction, example good labor relation, quality of the goods, established management and efficiency of staff, etc., are not considered at all. We cannot ignore such important issues by diagnosing the true worth of the business. 4. Figures in financial accounting does not carry the level of their accuracy. Financial accounting information is based upon various fundamental assumptions, concepts, and conventions based on experience rather than any specific inquiry. Attempts are often made to violate the accounting principles for the purpose of destroying the factual position. Fifth, window dressing in balance sheet. If the management of the business entity prefers to show more or less profit than the true and fair profit, it is called window dressing in accounting. It can be done by over or under valuation of closing stock by showing revenue expenditure as capital expenditure and vice versa. Sixth, worthless assets are also shown as in the financial statement. Certain worthless assets are shown in the balance sheet just to distort the factual position. Example, preliminary expenses, discount on issue of shares and debenture, underwriting commission, etc. No effect. 7th, no effect of inflationary trends. As the money is a not stable unit of measurement, inflation make most of the figure out of date. ਕੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਅਕਾਊਂਟਿੰਗ ਸਾਇੰਸ ਔਰ ਆਰਟ। ਜੇਕਰ ਚੈਨਲ ਤੇ ਨਵੇਂ ਆਏ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਚੈਨਲ ਨੂੰ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਕਰਿਓ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਅਜਿਹੀ ਵੀਡੀਓਜ਼ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਕੱਲ ਦਾ ਲੈਕਚਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਡਿਸਕ੍ਰਿਪਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇ ਦੇਵਾਂਗੇ। ਲਾਈਕ, ਕਮੈਂਟ ਅਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਦੋਸਤਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਿਓ। ਧੰਨਵਾਦ।